Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Welcome to Ecuador. We're sailing up the Guayas River to the largest city in Ecuador called Guayaquil. The river is just beautiful. There's a wide variety of boats on the river, and actually Guayaquil is the largest port, the main port of Ecuador. Our ship docked in an industrial-looking area, and as we were leaving the port, look at the large group of police officers. Driving around through the streets of Guayaquil, I noticed that a motorcycle police officer was riding right next to the bus. It turns out there were officers on either side of the bus, and they stayed right with us throughout the entire trip. It made me kind of wonder, are they that protective of us because we're special? Because we're certainly not celebrities, we're just tourists. But it made me feel better to know that if there is a problem in Guayaquil, that I'm on a tour from the cruise ship and security has been provided for me. But it's something sometimes we take for granted when we're on vacation. Guayaquil has a lot of beautiful parks. They seem to be well cared for. It was common to see people out cleaning, sweeping. There wasn't any trash anywhere, hardly any graffiti. It seemed like a well-maintained city that the residents take pride in their community. When we drove past this square, you can see there's a beautiful fountain, lovely trees, and a very large group of police officers. I don't know what that was about. So then I was wondering, how safe is Guayaquil? Maybe it really isn't safe because there's so many police officers everywhere. We don't usually see a police presence in such large quantities where I'm from unless there's a problem. During the visit to Guayaquil, we had the chance to ride the Aerovia, the city's innovative cable car system. It's like a sky ride. They used to have a sky ride at Disneyland, and it reminded me of that. It's a unique way to explore the city. You cross the Guayas River, so instead of going, say, up a mountain, it goes across the river. You can really see how large the river is. And the tide is in, so it's a tidal flow. You can see how close the tide comes in to the buildings and the streets. For each group of 4 of us who rode in the cars, we had our own English translator that was provided by the tour company, so they could easily make sure we had our tickets, they could translate for us, they could explain everything we were seeing in English, and then they also made sure that we got back on correctly and made it back safely to our bus. It was very enjoyable, and the scenery was amazing. There are our trusted police officers. They guided us a few blocks through the streets, and we went to visit the Museo Nacional de Cacao. It was so like cocoa chocolate factory. They had some absolutely gorgeous exhibits, beautiful artwork, artifacts. They explained to us about cacao, how they grow, harvest, and process the cacao. They had excellent exhibits. It was beautiful. We learned about the ancient history, we learned about the pirates, and they even had some exhibits from colonial days. It's a small museum, but it's very well done. Our last stop on our tour of Guayaquil was at the Seminario Park, in downtown Guayaquil that is also referred to as the Iguana Park. There are supposedly 100 iguanas, green iguanas, living in this park. I was so excited. I saw a few iguanas when we were in Curacao, but I had seen pictures of this park with these dozens of green iguanas, so I was very excited. But when we pulled up, the bus just stopped. We were not allowed to get off. I don't know if it because it wasn't safe. And you can see the police officers were there as well. So the best I could do to see the actual iguanas was to zoom in on one that I could see on the grass. So I don't know where the other 99 were. And you can see there were many people milling around, but we were not allowed to get off the bus, and the police officers stayed next to our bus. So it seemed like it would have been a perfectly safe place to visit, but maybe I don't understand. So anyway, that was an enjoyable trip to Guayaquil. It's the jumping off point to go to the Galapagos Islands. There seemed to be a lot to see. The few people that we interacted with were very nice, very friendly. Everything seemed clean and nice, but the amount of police makes me have pause that perhaps it isn't really as safe as we would imagine, but I don't know. So let us know. It was interesting to visit Guayaquil in Ecuador, but I'm not sure it would be on my list of places that I would want to return and visit another time. I hope you'll like my video, share it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.